Thanks for joining Veiled Mystic today as we examine the demon Cimeies. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this presentation. The Legend of Cimeies, Demon Lord of Forbidden Pleasures. In the esoteric teachings and forbidden texts of the occult, few names evoke such curiosity and temptation as Cimeies, the demon lord of forbidden pleasures. Though details about Cimeies vary across ancient grimoires and magical traditions, he invariably appears as a supernatural entity promising access to dark wisdom and ecstatic, though taboo experiences. Origins and history. References to Cimeies first emerge in ancient Babylonian magical texts dating to the early 1st millennium BCE. Here he appears under the title Elu, meaning forbidden god, and is associated with nocturnal rituals and experiences meant only for a secretive priestly class. These early texts are fragmented, however, and establish little of Cimeies' origins or full capabilities. More extensive records on Cimeies appear centuries later in Aramaic conjuring manuals from the Near East. Though translations are imperfect, these manuscripts depict Cimeies as a watcher demon who serves as a gatekeeper to shadow realms filled with carnal delights and revelations normally beyond human experience. He is described as having a shifting, chaotic appearance and commanding lesser spirits who specialize in acts of temptation and forbidden magic. The manuals are striking for their stern prohibitions against contacting Cimeies for personal benefit, indicating these are spiritual forces far outside acceptable social and religious boundaries. References continue to appear as magical practices spread into the Mediterranean, fused with earlier Near Eastern occultism. By the early centuries CE, variations of Cimeies or similar figures emerge in esoteric Greek texts for summoning daimons, as well Roman tablets hexing rivals with the assistance of dark gods. Though details vary, the core image continues of Cimeies as a supernatural broker of shadowy and dangerous pleasures who operates outside divine cosmic order. Cimeies in the grimoires. It was in the medieval era's famous grimoires, however, manuals for conjuring demons and angels, that the legend of Cimeies truly flowered. Works like the Arabic Picatrix, Hebrew Sefer HaRazim, and especially the European Lesser Key of Solomon devote lengthy sections to Cimeies' talents, tastes, and, most critically, the complex rituals required for summoning him safely from the outer darkness. Though depictions vary across these texts, common themes emerge of Cimeies as governing 30 infernal legions, including spirits of lust, madness, nightmare, intoxication, and disease. He is frequently titled as Hell's apostate prince and depicted wearing opulent robes while commanding and participating in bacchanalian rites. Prominent are Cimeies' reputed skills at manipulating memories and perceptions to create elaborate fantasies for his followers to inhabit, endless revelries where every act, pleasure and vice are made real and permitted. Yet for all promises of ecstasy and forbidden wisdom, the grimoires uniformly warn of grave dangers should Cimeies not be controlled upon summoning. Without the proper words, signs, wards, and permissions, would-be conjurers risk becoming trapped in Cimeies' domain and becoming mental thralls. Millennia-long pacts of service are described as common for the unwary who treat Cimeies' powers lightly. Only by adhering to complex and exhausting ritual constraints can knowledge and abilities be extracted from Cimeies without total compromise. These treatises suggest Cimeies demanded such conditions and rituals not due to any inherent loyalty to hellish authority, but as conventions established and enforced by himself and fellow demon lords to manage troublesome human interlopers. The exact motivations and character of Cimeies ultimately remain in shadow, however, his design and darker promises known only by scattered cultists pursuing arts forbidden by gods and common society alike. Cimeies today. While belief in supernatural entities like Cimeies has waned considerably in modern times, various occult groups still claim knowledge of and connection to preternatural forces like the demon lord of forbidden pleasures. Secretive cults and magical orders from Western Europe to the Middle East occasionally surface with accounts of contact and pacts made with Cimeies or similar entities from humanity's magical traditions. Details on these groups and their alleged interactions with Cimeies are exceptionally rare, however. Whether true believers or simply fabricators, such groups guard membership and secrets closely to avoid controversy or outright persecution. Mainstream scholarship regards demons like Cimeies as mythological artifacts with no reality outside ancient and medieval imaginations. Yet for those few still claiming to walk forbidden magical paths, Cimejes exists as more than legend and stands ready to broker access to humanity's most carefully suppressed desires, for a terrible price. The many images of Cimejes. Despite the aura of forbidden chaos commonly ascribed to Cimejes across magical texts and occult traditions, certain conventional motifs and attributes replay consistently for this shadowed entity across centuries and cultures. The ecstatic consort and lord of forbidden pleasures. As demon lord of forbidden pleasures, sensuality and ecstasy motif Cimejes strongly across various sources. He is frequently titled as Hell's apostate prince and depicted wearing opulent robes while commanding and participating in bacchanalian rites. Crowned in gold and purple vestments, Cimejes governs creation's secret revels, where every act and desire are made real for his followers to share and inhabit. Zafara Grimoire, 8th century CE. Such forbidden revelries hosted by Cimejes often involve altered mental states induced through intoxication, madness, or Cimejes' reputed skills for manipulating perception. With a touch, Cimejes made palace chambers appear around us, filled with music, fragrant smoke and beautiful forms offering delights without limit. Manual of Submission, 11th century CE. Yet participation in Cimejes' debauched realms is frequently framed as extraordinarily dangerous for conjurers unable to first bind him with holy names, signs, sanctified chambers, and other constraints on his powers over mortals. The pleasures Cimejes offers are depicted as gateways into literal demonic possession or metaphysical capture within hellish domains. Keeper of forbidden knowledge and power. In addition to presiding over forbidden sensory pleasures, Cimejes appears frequently as a keeper of esoteric knowledge and abilities normally beyond mortal reach. The various magical texts and occult traditions emphasizing this aspect often title Cimejes as a watcher at the threshold, meaning a guardian stationed at cosmic barriers who selects which human seekers may cross into realms of deeper understanding or influence. Cimejes admits all who dare approach, warlocks wishing to subjugate rivals, scholars hoping to peel back veils shelters bend nature's order, and devoted mystics seeking unity with the divine. Yet few return unchanged by what awaits in Cimejes' abscess realms. De Legionibus Daemonum, 13th century CE. What ultimate knowledge or power Cimejes specifically vends remains largely undefined, however, suggesting individual seekers experience revelations catering to their own secret ambitions when making contact. The common theme is such forbidden enlightenment comes at extraordinary risk of metaphysical overhaul. Those approaching Cimejes must be prepared to potentially shatter boundaries sheltering conventional human identity and stability. The shapeshifter and master of illusions. Sources frequently emphasize the mutable, illusory nature of Cimejes' appearance and surroundings. Some grimoires depict Cimejes cycling through harrowing forms as conjuration rituals test and progress. First appeared an angelic youth with golden locks, promising blessings. Then a writhing column of eyes and mouths that spoke blasphemies beyond record. Final materialized the true vizier, twin-headed with faces recalling acquaintances long buried. Lemageddon, Goetia, 17th century CE. Other accounts stress Cimejes' chameleonic skills at projecting elaborate illusions to confuse and tempt summoners. Environments of sumptuous palaces and endlessly fulfilling pleasures are common mirages meant to lure conjurers into metaphysical debt or thraldom. Skilled summoners are depicted navigating these shifting facades via rigorous preparation, sanctified implements, and displays of power through holy names and celestial forces. Ultimately, Cimejes' protean abilities underscore conceptions across esoteric traditions of demons and angels as fluid entities lacking permanent physicality. Changeability is seen as the natural state these superhuman forces assume when manifesting to limited human senses. The magical implements and rituals needed to safely contact Cimejes aim to anchor this instability long enough to extract useful knowledge or boons. Cimejes' relationships with fellow demon lords. While extensive detail on Cimejes' character and motivations remains lacking across occult records, some recurring relationships with fellow demon lords help establish his relative station and role. Cimejes and Andromalius. Andromalius appears variably as an ally of Cimejes or direct subordinate across some magical texts. This 72nd demon of the Lesser Key of Solomon reputedly specializes in stealing treasures and revealing secrets, often working in tandem with Cimejes. Andromalius ransacks conclaves once sealed to extract teachings that Cimejes vends in mutated form to warlocks and witches seeking advantage against priestly rivals. The blood-scryed grimoire, date unknown. One echo suggesting Cimeies's higher status is that he appears consistently as a demon lord with vast legions, while Andromalius ranks numerically within the Goetia's 72 demons. Yet other sources reverse this relationship. Ultimately, details on any demonic hierarchy beyond solitary conjurations are lacking. Cimejes and Barbas. Barbas appears in numerous later European grimoires as an imposing demon lord associated with mechanics of human sin who serves as a deterrent for those unworthy of deeper hellish initiation. Many traditions place him as gatekeeper to Cimejes himself. Present first Barbas to evaluate readiness, he brokers no trifling with Cimejes' realm. Redacti Demonomicon, 1401 CE. Though not strictly subordinates, these two entities work closely judging which mortals may access Cimejes' infamously intense and risky conjurations. While Cimejes provides a path, Barbas serves as an enforcer and discouraging presence regulation passage. This suggests Cimejes oversees privileges and forbidden knowledge very few can handle, with most turned back by Barbas well in advance. Nightmare Enlightenment. As a recurring figure across Western and Near Eastern magical traditions, Cimejes embodies the occult fascination with crossing boundaries into metaphysical territory concealing deeper understanding and sensory experiences. His depictions tempt with promises of unfettered illumination and pleasure, yet uniformly warn of profound danger should conjurers fail adhering to complex constraints and rituals developed over centuries specifically for contact with Cimejes' realm. The exact nature of Cimejes' powers and character remain elusive, however, perhaps purposefully to stoke further intrigue. Hints and echoes suggest he exists not solely to tempt aspiring sorcerers, but as a bellwether selecting rare individuals truly poised to withstand exposure with humanity's carefully shadowed nature. This positions Cimejes as not just a roguish demon, but a toxic spiritual catalyst allowing safe passage only for those prepared to irrevocably shed limiting paradigms on reality and consciousness. Any foolish or selfish enough to approach without proper mastery of self and safeguards for their sanity inevitably surrender entirely to Cimejes' abyssal dominion of forbidden pleasures and nightmare enlightenment.